The Teeming Universe, an extraterrestrial field guide. What would you do if you were dropped off in the water on an ocean planet surrounded by alien fish? Drown. The answer is you would drown. I know you've heard of a flying fish, but this is gonna take that to a whole new level. And how much money would it take to get you to use the alien fish as a fleshlight? Definitely at least enough to get plastic surgery to replace your dick. All this and more on In the Teeming Universe. If you haven't seen my other videos on the Teeming Universe, you should definitely go watch them. They explain the concept of the book and also cover the life inhabiting a few alien worlds: Hercelion, Solis, Borold, and Kralon. The Teeming Universe is a field guide to a myriad of extraterrestrial planets containing multitudes of strange alien species in the known universe. We know about these worlds because of one artist, Christian Cline. They're a great artist, and I'll be linking to their pages in the description. Without further ado, let's take a look at another one of the worlds detailed in these pages. Welcome to the world of Toreya, a monumental ocean planet 7 times the mass of Earth. At the time of its discovery, it was the fattest inhabited planet they had ever found. It has a large ring of asteroids thought to be the remainder of moons that got shredded under the planet's intense gravity, and 8 unshredded yet perpetually terrified moons dispersed throughout the viscera of their past brethren. Aside from a handful of small islands, there is no land on Toreya. 99% of the surface is covered in water, and hence 99% of the life on Toreya is underwater. The surface is battered with constant hurricanes, and it's also prone to hypercanes. Hypercanes are, quote, ungodly storms that rage on for centuries that are fueled by an endless supply of warm water. The weather sometimes is almost as bad as Florida on Earth. Although there isn't much land on Toreya, there are plant masses that create solid surfaces on the ocean for small invertebrates and flying animals to land, feed, and hump on. These heaven kelps stay anchored in place miles below the surface with a heavy cellulose lump. They're usually 1 to 2,000 meters from land to maximize nutrition from terrestrial runoff, and are rarely seen in the open ocean. These towering colonies of heaven kelp plant act as the anchor for the ecosystem. The amount of biodiversity in the ecosystem supported by the kelp rivals that of Earth's Amazon rainforest, and almost even of your big toe. There are 3 main zones of life in these areas: the pelagic zone, the bathypelagic zone, and the abyssopelagic zone. In the pelagic zone, photosynthetic organisms like the heaven kelp are the foundation for the food web. As you pass the pelagic zone, more and more creatures begin to develop bioluminescent or translucent skin, like deep-sea creatures such as Mark Zuckerberg. Go far enough down and you'll hit the abyssopelagic zone. Yeah, we're talking deep-sea monstrosities for all the OGs here. Down here, the food web is based on chemotrophs that feed from hydrothermal vents, and detritus. It's pitch black, and because of this, most of the animals are a ghostly pale gray and often evolve other senses to replace the use of sight. They live slow-paced lives to conserve as much energy as possible. Swimming around all over the planet are the It's this. I'm sorry, Christian, I really can't read for shit. Or fish. They are trilaterally symmetrical fish like aliens. All fish come from a single trilateral ancestor, but some have adapted bilateral traits as well. They have hemocyanin in their blood, giving them a dark blue hue. They have a blind gut, meaning like Kim Jong-un, they lack an anus. Also like Kim Jong-un, they adapt the same system for expelling waste, and vomit up a hardened hamster pellet poo out their face hole. Speaking of face holes, they don't have true jaws, but instead fragments of bone connected to strong facial muscles. Obligatory BJ joke. They open their mouths up with a trio of bone or cartilage serrated hooks kept in place with muscles along the roof of their mouths. When the lips close over the mouths, these spines are hidden, but when the inner mouth flexes outwards, the muscles jut forward, taking the hooks with them. There are many different variations of this mouth for different diets. These are a specific family of fish, the Pelegonarians, aka the Pelegs. There are over 650 unique species of Pelegs, none of which are from Subnautica, so for God's sake, stop asking. All species have whisker-like protrusions on the front of their face used for locating food, communication, and courtship. They swim in schools ranging from a handful to tens of thousands. Their diet is mostly plant matter and sometimes smaller fish or invertebrates. Their skeleton is fish-like, but the key difference is that it's trilaterally symmetrical. They have a brain and nervous system and a set of electrical nodes under the skin which help the fish communicate with one another. They also have gills and a special set of lungs to let them take in oxygen from the water. Pelegs possess an internal cloaca for you know. When mating, both male and female cloacas move outwardly, and the male inserts the sperm directly into the female orifice. After that horrific description taken directly from the book, they lay their eggs in the clutches. This is the Gallant gull, a fish that has evolved the ability both to fly and swim. For instance, when you throw a regular fish off of a building, it would turn into a large red stain upon the inevitable impact of the ground. This would not happen with the Gallant gull. Because of their time spent on the surface, they have a very high tolerance for the bright sun, humid air, and mind-bending acid on the surface. The gull is largely endemic to the island of Talkoi, roosting on the cliffs before returning to the water to breathe. One of the largest invertebrate creatures native to Toreya is the anoom, large filter-feeding organisms made of many small jellyfish-like invertebrates. Full-grown anooms can reach 250 feet in length. They have a large sail, and behind that there are trailing tentacles that can be over 100 feet long. There are lots of other invertebrates too, some of which look pretty similar to what's on Earth. I've wanted to eat basically everything on this list, but none more than the tribble crab. The sun lily is special too, because it's a completely photosynthetic animal, unlike anything on Earth. I would also eat that thing too. Yeah, to find out what an additional episode in this series would be about, we're gonna go back to our Yechuan correspondent Yi.
Thanks, Az. Tell me how that tribble crab tastes because I'm pretty curious. Another episode would cover the other corners of the universe filled with strange alien life, as well as maybe looking at the history of my great species. I'd like and subscribe with all notifications to see that, and anyone who wouldn't is an idiot. Coming up on Earthwatch tonight at 11, the Americans are having a time where they're thankful that they were able to steal land hundreds of years ago, and are more toddlers than usual projected to get curb stomped this Black Friday. Back to you, Az.
Thanks, Yeet. I want to thank my friend and the very talented author of the Teeming universe, Christian Cline, for getting in contact with me and providing assets for the creation of this video. I loved his book, and you should definitely go check it out because he's super talented, and honestly, if you don't, you are missing out. I also want to thank Qalasaci, aka Coralinius, for helping me with the illustration of this video. They're super talented, and I'll be linking to their work as well.
And also thank you to Savaalienfish on Instagram. He drew, but it was after I recorded the audio track. He's super talented. You should also go check out all of his things.
Anyways, if you want to see another installment, make sure to like, comment, hit the bell with all notifications enabled. Okay, bye.
More food.
I'm on my best shit. Visit your girl in a mystery flesh pit. Death threats from Q and they ain't get arrested. Too dumb to find me, I ain't even stressing. Why all the eyes, man? I leave them guessing.